A strong and independent woman is something to behold. She pays her own bills, buys her own things, and she doesn't let a man affect her stability or self-confidence. She is a soul-rich woman. Are you ready to be rich doing what you love? Be on purpose and in control of your life again. At For Women Who Love the F Word podcast, we will be openly talking about getting more clients online, getting recognition as the leader and female entrepreneur, and also the F word, being fabulous, having freedom, and financial independence. It's time to own and love the F word. Welcome to the show. Hello and welcome back again to today's episode. We have a really amazing guy today. He is one of those very huge, gentle giants that I've met and known for in the past 20 years as a volunteer of CARE Singapore, helping youths to succeed. So they've done a lot of work in the last 20 over years, and I was a volunteer, and I have been a volunteer for 20 years, and now even more. So who is this huge, gentle giant I'm talking about? His name is Dr. John Tan. So who is Dr. John Tan? He is a highly engaging and interesting person. His life mission is to facilitate success experiences of youths as well as those who minister to youths. He is CARE Singapore's Executive Director, which is Children at Risk Empowerment Association, since 2005 to present. He was formerly a Director of Development of CARE Singapore from December 2001 to 2004. He is a member, Steering Committee, Mentoring Alliance Singapore Limited. He is also the Vice Chairperson of Commonwealth Alliance of Youth Work Associations. He is also the Founding President of Youth Work Association Singapore. Besides all the things that he does, Dr. John does consulting work. He's also a resource trainer and consultant on youth issues, regional, and also at an international level. Now, Dr. John is really from the deepest, most sincere of my heart. He has helped me before during my growing years. You know, they opened their house together with his wife, and, welcome people like us, a bit lost, and then, welcome us to go visit him and chat with him, and, he will guide us and counsel us. So he has helped me, and I'm very grateful to that. And because of this, now that I'm successful, I'm running Soul Rich Woman, and then I have this program called the Instant Podcast Leader Program. I immediately thought about him, and I wanted to help him to go from offline to online, to get him and his expertise extracted out and place all of his legacy online. Because you never know that you can make a change and evoke change for the next decade. So I kind of digitize him through this podcast. And in this episode, he is going to share his experience and 10 breakthroughs and concerns and apprehensions that he has about going online, doing a podcast, and then getting himself seen. Because to leave a legacy, you can't be invisible. To leave a legacy and continue your impact and influence, you have to be visible. So take a listen and let me know what you think.
Welcome to this very, very special episode, because it wouldn't be the usual podcast episode I will normally do with regards to talking about youth issues. Today, I thought it will be an interesting point of view for me to share my experiences doing podcasting on this platform, Instant Podcast Leader. I want to share because I'm a lifelong learner, and I thought it's always very good to have experiences recorded, and then you can always look back and reflect. At the same time, I'm sharing to kind of encourage some of you out there. Okay, so this is a very, very special episode of Every Youth Matters, but from the point of view of myself being a podcaster. Okay, I must say that it is a great sense of achievement for me to have completed a whole season of Every Youth Matters. It was something that I really wanted to do for a long time. And when I first launched it, I was so overwhelmed and touched by the responses I received. It was put forth my social media platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn. And I was just surprised. And I even had one student of mine who had been in my classes, my life skill classes and program way back then. He happened to listen, and he told me he listened in with his kids. So, wow, that to me is really, really amazing. And there were several others who congratulated me for my efforts, and they say that, wow, this is long time coming. We need to hear your voice, and we want your voice to be heard far, far wide. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. And it was truly a fantastic experience for me. Now, you may say, wow, all this is fine and all that, but I must also share with you the fears and the objections, or maybe even the questions that may have arisen in my mind. Or maybe I felt other people will ask me and all that. So I want to quickly run through with you some of these questions and so-called objections as to why would a podcast like this carry on, or in the first place take off. Okay, so firstly, podcasting. The term podcasting, during my time when I first started out, there was no such thing called podcasting. So what on earth is a podcast? So it has this this, I would think it's the image of something very difficult to do, right? It is something very difficult, but honestly, I tell you, it's only a soundboard that is connected to some storage device and with some buttons, and there you have. You can have your voice heard and shared. But of course, there's the fantastic team of Janisha and the team at Soul Rich Woman, and in particular my podcast coach. I want to have a good, nice shout out to Joanne. Joanne, thank you very much for helping me and journeying with me and being patient with me and showing me where to press. Very important. And that's about it, is just having that kind of support. All right. So technical equipment, whoa, no, it's doable. You can do it. You can do it. All right. Another possible objection is interesting, because someone might ask, okay, of course, this is like my doubtful, skeptical self asking, say something like this. All right. So pardon my Singlish. It might be something like this. You so old, still want to say meh? You so old, still want to say meh? Of course, it was interesting that one of my friends through social media, he mentioned something like, wow, John, your podcast show is truly inspiring for me, that you are learning to do something and doing something at your age. Now, I will not tell on air what my age is, but I'm just saying I'm young. I think young. All right. And so, yeah, so also want to say, man, of course, I have many things to say, but where to say, how to say, podcasting is the way. Wow, that's a nice rap. Where to say, how to say, podcasting is the way. Wow, thank you. Next one is, who want to listen? Who want to listen? Actually, I just saw some of the statistics of my shows that came out. Initially, wow, there are people. There are hundreds. So I say, yeah, well, you have a story and therefore there's someone who might want to listen. And if you were to go out, like say Hong Lim Park, you still need a permit, and you stand down there and maybe the birds might listen. But hello, podcast goes out to the internet, to the World Wide Web, and they will listen. All right, next one. Not boring, man. Well, what is boring? What's the opposite of boring? It's not exciting, it's fulfilling. You never know. It doesn't have to have excitement, but it can be fulfilling because your story may touch a heart out there. You never know. And through podcasting, you never know. It can do it. Now, there's perhaps another group objection, similar, but it sounds like this. There's so much resource out there. What's so special about yours? Well, once again, it's connected to your story, and your story is unique. Your story is special. Now, even at this point, as you are listening, I'm sure you have a story. It's just that maybe it hasn't come out, or maybe you don't know how to tell. So I'm just going to give you a preview right now. Through podcasting, you can actually do it. And guess what? You never know, because the next one someone asked me or could ask me, is your topic relevant? Of course it is relevant. It's relevant to who? To the story that may appeal to that person. You never know. How do you know it's not relevant? Right? How do you know it is or it is not? You never know until you try. All right. Now, in rolling out this podcast, you need to have certain kind of quantity to make sense of it, because there are resources involved, there's time involved, and they encourage you to record a series because that makes sense. You get the momentum and all that. And so the number for me was 55. Oh boy, 55. When I was doing my first one, I was doing, oh my goodness, how to do 55? How to do 54 more? You know why? Because it took me like 2 hours to prepare the first one. I said, oh my. But then, through my beautiful, lovely coach, Joanne, she says, don't worry. Don't be perfectionist. Just focus on telling your story as it flows, and then it will go. And truly, indeed, I went through the flow, and in one shot, there was one time I did 23 episodes just telling story after story, principle after story, and that is the way to go, right? Now, you may also ask, wow, so much time. Do you need so much time to produce? Well, as we say, go with the flow. Tell your story, right? Now, one big objection I may have as a guy, because I'm using Soul Rich Woman. Someone may ask, well, John, what's a guy like you doing with Soul Rich Woman? And my answer would be, it doesn't matter. Because they get it done, and they get it done well, and they get it done right, and they get it done so efficient. So who cares, right? Soul Rich Woman. Well, I feel my soul has been enriched by Soul Rich Woman. Shout out for Janisha and the team once again. All right. So therefore, why I'm telling you all this, I'm telling you that you can do it too. If you have a story and you think like nobody wants to listen, I'm saying it doesn't matter to me now. Guess what? I have a legacy to live. And this legacy, I live through the podcast. Isn't that amazing? And because of my helping profession, I'm helping the helping profession help more people. And through the podcast, all they have to do is to open the media and click and listen. That's it. So if you have a story, you can do it. And if you think you don't have a story, don't worry. You actually have a story. Through Soul Rich Woman, the podcast coach will guide you through. So don't worry, because you can publish it, you can have a voice, and you can have it heard. You can share it on instantpodcastleader.com. Right in my outro, you can hear the address again, instantpodcastleader.com. Right? So I'm telling you, it's that simple. And why not come join me as a podcaster? And if you want to hear and know more about me, you can always visit me at drjohntan.com. All right. So it has been really lovely having you.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so honored that we are connected, and I hope that I can continue to serve you as you build your dreams. And if you love this episode, and I hope that you did, rate it 5 stars. Give us that glowing review because it will help more women around the world finding the Soul Rich Woman podcast. Alone you are strong, together we are unstoppable. Now share this with every woman who needs it, because this is how we are changing the world, one woman at a time. As always, get out of your comfort zone and go towards the dreams you've always wanted to achieve. For women who love the F word, being fabulous, having freedom, and financial independence. My dear soul rich woman, sending you my love, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.